Hey guys, welcome back. Today is all about summer, outdoors, and West Elm. So today is all about outdoor spaces and the West Elm product that goes in it. And I'll tell you, I love West Elm for a couple of reasons. One, they take a fresh, young approach to their product development. And secondly, they really try and maintain a very reasonable price point for most of their goods. Now, if you're an IKEA fan, consider leveling up a little bit for some of these pieces, and they'll add some depth and dimension to your look outdoors. So I'm gonna start with the Portside Collection. Now this is a huge outdoor collection from them. There's everything from benches and chairs, chaises, even double chaises, sectional sofas, build your own, dining sets. There's all kinds of cool stuff, and it's been in the line a little bit. But they introduced some really cute, cool stuff for this year. I am loving the garden planters that they've added, and the outdoor bar. Oh God, who doesn't love that? And if you've got a really small space, you can add in a rolling drink cart, which they've added. That's all part of this collection. There's some cool new occasional tables with it, and they can just all be used in a ton of different places. So it's super versatile, super flexible, and a great building block collection for your outside space. So now while I'm on building blocks, they've also added a couple of additional seating collections that I really loved this year. There's one called the Porto. There's one called the Coastal. Both of those have kind of a woven detail, so they're kind of sexy, they're bigger, they're lounge pieces, so they're really kind of that basic building block that you're gonna wanna use. They also added this really sweet one called Acadia, which is an all teak one, and it's kind of got a mid-century vibe, which I love about it, and it's also perfect. So if you're working with small spaces, like for instance a balcony or a smaller outdoor patio area, that's a good one to look at. Now they have another lounge piece. It's not new, but I simply love this thing. Super groovy, cool 70s reprise of a beanbag shape called the Montauk Nest. And it's done in this lovely wicker. So you can cozy up in there, but it still gets breezes through. I could literally spend all afternoon reading in this thing. So now, like I said, these larger pieces are kind of building blocks, which you want to have. West Elm provides them in kind of an outdoor fabric that's usually kind of a off-white or a white, lighter color, and it's plain. And that's fine if you're doing kind of a beachy coastal look that can always just go straight out like that, no problems. But they also offer a wide range of Sunbrella products that you could upholster the pieces in. So if you really wanted to change up your look, you could add kind of a rich navy blue, kind of get something going that way, or they've even got some oranges and some stripes, so you can see from the collection that they offer, there's a lot of choices there. So it gives you a lot of flexibility. Now, if I miss something that's a favorite of yours, be sure and comment down below. I'd love to know. If these tips are making a big difference for you guys, please thumbs up, comment down below, like me, subscribe, all that stuff. So another building block that's always important to have is a dining table or surfaces where you can put cocktails and or eat. Take a look at this one. This is also from Portside, and I love it again because it comes in two materials. It comes in the wood, and then the other option is of course the aluminum, which comes in this really beautiful bronze finish. It would be great if you're a minimalist, great for all those other things. It's a good option. Another rectangular collection that I absolutely love, and it's really not rectangular, it's actually oval, is the Dexter. Now, not new, but I gotta tell you, it's a beautiful shape, this little oval dining table. And to be honest, the chairs and the bench that pair with it are the sweetest version on a Windsor chair I've seen in years. It's super great. Add a fun cushion to it like that, and it just really, really makes a great statement. Now, if you don't have the space, just take a look at this pedestal table, because they've started to bring out a collection of the faux concrete materials, and they're great for two reasons. One, they're lighter weight, so you can move them around if you need to, and then secondly, they don't stain as easily as the actual concrete tops do. But I just love what they did with this pedestal table, because the base just tapers super simply, and that edge detail is super clean, where they've paired it with the slope chair. I use their bar stools all the time, but they've done it for an outdoor version, and it's just done in this simple wicker, and so it's got this graceful little base to it, and it's just a great combination with that pedestal table. All right, so now another one of my very favorite subjects is occasional tables, because they're almost like accent pieces, but they serve a function, which is, you know, they hold your drinks. So what I love about this collection that they did this year is, again, like I mentioned, they added that concrete stuff. And look at this product called Tambour. Oh, I love this. It's got this sexy little shape to it. And then they added a little bit of a ridged, toothy texture down at the bottom. So it really completely changes it up, gives it a little bit of a distressed vibe. It's super great. They also do the pedestal, which I love in the dining shape, as an occasional table, which is super cute. It looks like a hyper-modern mushroom. And then, of course, they have the river rock, which is always a piece that you can use. And then you can't forget some of my little favorites. I love these sweet little ceramic garden stools. And you know, they're bringing them out in all these delightful, fun colors and shapes, and they're so versatile. I must have 5 at my house. And you just always stick them in a corner, or, you know, put them beside a great little chair, or use a couple for people to pull up and sit on. They're indispensable. So they're a must on your list. Okay, so now we're gonna put it all together. Just like an indoor room, your outdoor spaces need to be intentional and thought through. So start with a plan. And this doesn't matter whether or not you're dealing with a small balcony. I mean, this one's certainly beautiful. You definitely need to make sure that you're adding plants in a situation like that. Or whether or not you have a huge backyard with a pool and a fireplace and all the rest of it, you still need to be intentional. And you need to start with the building blocks of whatever it is: seating, dining, tables, all the rest of that. Then you want to add all of the rest that makes it pull together at a space, which is lighting, usually area rugs. I love using area rugs outside, and of course, accessories. So here's a project of mine that had a huge backyard. There's a pool, there's a huge yard that you're not even seeing in this photo. You have to make sure that you're breaking out spaces so that it all flows together, literally just like you're indoors, right? So I divided up a dining space area. I built that beautiful pergola, and then we added a whole nother seating area in front of this really gorgeous fireplace, which is clad in amazing black stone. And then you go up the stairs, and then there's a whole nother area which is out of this picture, which is a running lawn. And then in back of me is a whole nother setup with the pool. So you want to make sure that you've created a flow from each space, and each space delivers a function that you need. Okay, so let's start with lighting, because everybody loves to be outdoors at night in the summer, right? So if you've seen this video that I did on lighting, I cover a lot of information about that. Recently, a lot of vendors have begun to do battery-powered LED products. One of the ones that West Elm has brought out is by Terry, and it's called the Fat Boy. And it's a totally rechargeable LED. And you can see they're putting it in a tree branch. It can go almost anywhere you suspend it. Now they also do another version of this, which I love, on a spear. So you can just stick it into the ground like they show here, and, you know, have a picnic on the grass in your backyard. Super good looking, and again, reasonably priced. Now, if you want something a little softer and more romantic, I love these LED string lights that they've wired onto spheres. Honestly, I would hang a bunch of them from a tree limb and then just let them be magical like that. They don't throw a whole lot of light off, so be sure you include some lumières, which are all about fun and all about style statement. They're super versatile, and you'll need a bunch. Okay, so decor's a big subject. You know, you've got rugs, pillows, pots and planters, accessories, of course. But the thing to remember about pots and planters is that they are basically still a structural element. And so you can use them to kind of define spaces, you know, create a little divider wall somehow. They definitely provide you the opportunity to give a little bit of greenery. I love this little one that they just introduced this year that's part of the Portside Collection. That thing just keeps expanding. It's just great. When you're thinking about potting and planters, create a complete divisive line with one size and a single plant element, or layer them like you would in an actual garden. And that kind of gives it some textural statement, and the plants in there change up. They're blooming at different times. So it's really an important element. It's almost architectural in its nature. So be sure to include that and think about it. Now, another thing that I kind of consider a structural element is outdoor area rugs. And they are great these days. And I love the collection from West Elm. I love this blue and white stripe one, great for transitional or coastal. But then they jump over to this one, which is, this black and white one is completely tribal. So you want to like swing boho with this? Or how about these two, which really almost feel like Persian rugs that you can do outside, which would be great for boho, eclectic, transitional, traditional, any kinds of spaces like that. These would be beautiful in it. They're super versatile, they're great, they don't fade, and this is a must. If you have a balcony, you have got to use an area rug. Balconies tend to have a little bit of a cold quality or a generic quality to them because they're part of the exterior skin of a high-rise. So you really need to warm it up. So you need to include soft furnishings, which is, of course, area rugs is the basis for that. Then, of course, you're going to add pillows, you know, and other things that we'll talk about. If you have more than one outdoor space outside, you definitely want one underneath a seating area because it helps ground that to the space. Remember, with outdoors, you have no walls unless you've made some with planters. You've really got to kind of like say, this is my area for seating. This is my area for dining. And then the message continues your style statement at the same time. So another really important VIP detail is the decorative pillows. And you can do so much with these. You really want to create enough of a language with them so that they express your style and kind of the statement that you're going with. You can also do them in layers, stages. So you've got like planters, you've got bigger ones, you've got smaller ones, perhaps some round shaped ones. Really, you want to kind of play with them because they give your outdoor space some dimension and some texture. Most of everything that they do is either sunbrella or a good outdoor fabric. Be generous with your pillows because they really go a long way towards making your space feel inviting. Now, take a look at this one. I love this little striped one. That's super simple with just block color and stripes. But if you're feeling a little bit groovier, the tie-dye collection that they've got is really fabulous. Along with your decorative pillows, you want to be sure and add the other soft furnishings that really help you make it the statement, which is of course your blankets, your throws, and your towels for outdoors. I love some of their toothy textural ones that they've got. Like, look at this one with the gorgeous kind of a marled yarn to it. That's fantastic. I love their little towel collection. Really, bananas. I say that all the time, but I'd never think about putting it on a towel. But it's so fun. And they have this big groovy S statement. That's a whole nother great look if you're looking for something super fun outdoors. And then baskets for holding them. Oh, I love the natural wicker one. I love this curve to the edge of it. You know, you can't go wrong with this black one either. That's also a fantastic look. And they look great outdoors, stacked with pretty, you know, things that you can kind of just use and then throw back in when you're done. So the last accessory that you can really have fun with outdoors is your tabletop, your serving trays, and your barware. Because they make them in the melamines now. They're unbreakable glassware and things, so they're great. I love this beautiful tray with the, I don't even know what cocktail that is on it, which looks delicious and yummy. They also have this beautiful collection of stone looking melamine. So if you're kind of contemporary or a little bit more minimalist, that's a great collection for you. And then how can you go wrong with a little cocktail glass that has a flamingo as a stem? Okay guys, so now for all of you that have stuck around to the end, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a reveal about what West Elm has been busy doing. They have hooked up with REI, who is the giant kind of hiking and outdoor gear company. You know, they've gotten a groovy looking tent. They've got some fabulous little folding chairs if you're going to the beach with them. There's a fantastic looking little melamine plate set, so if you really are camping outside, you can eat on something tasteful. There's a great little collection, and you can buy them both at REI and at West Elm. So you've definitely got to check this out. Now, be sure to get on my email list so you'll know everything that's going on with my upcoming design club and other things that are going to be happening later this summer. And that's at lisaholtdesign.com. And please like and subscribe because it really helps me grow the channel for you guys. Be sure to check out these videos, and I will see you guys next week.